Hey, it's Dana from Dogs Naturally. Now, one of the questions that I get asked probably like the most often is what do I feed my dogs and what supplements do I put in their meals? I've got a whole big video that I think everybody has watched, what's in Dana's freezers, and I kind of walk you through that. Today I just want to focus on supplements and what supplements I put in my own dog's food and why. While we're here on the topic of meals, I'll just show you what my dogs are getting today. My young dogs are all getting, for breakfast, they're getting a nice meaty, that's a veal tail. So that's their meaty bone for today. And for dinner tonight, I grind this up myself. This is just, it's just a grind of, and I grind it myself so I know what's going in it. So that is, it's coarse ground beef along with pretty much every organ and gland known to mankind. So there's brain and pancreas and even ovaries and testicles in there and everything. So I like to get as much organ meat and as many glands into my dogs as possible. Chili, who is 14 and doesn't have too much left in the way of teeth because one of her favorite hobbies is chewing on sticks and spitting them out. So Chili gets a pre-made ground food, and this is actually a really nice food by Pets for Life. They're up here in Canada, and it's an organic beef blend with some alfalfa and some good stuff in there as well. So that's Chili's meal. That's what Chili gets. Now, as far as supplements, there's some supplements that I think are absolutely necessary for all of my dogs, and some I would just give to Chili because she's older and she has some joint issues. So let's look at my cupboards and we'll talk about what I give my dogs daily. One of the first things I give them, and I just buy a pre-purchased one because I don't have a lot of time, but this is a freeze-dried herb and vegetable and fruit blend by BioStar. And I think there's a lot of merit in giving my dogs fruits and vegetables. If you're looking at the difference between the two, this one is just for cooling and this one is just for heating. I love giving my dogs fruits and veggies as part of their meals, only because they have some benefits that animal products don't. They have phytonutrients, carotenoids, prebiotics, which we'll find out in a bit feed the probiotics or the healthy bacteria in your dog's digestive system that fires up his immune system and plays a lot of important roles in his body. So for that reason, and also because in the wild, the dog's ancestor and closest relative, the wolf, does eat a considerable amount of fruits and berries and grasses. So for that reason, and the reasons that there's lots and lots of benefits in it, I like to give my dog fruits and vegetables. I'll give them fresh ones as well, but I like to just throw some of that in their meals every single day. Now, the other thing that my dogs get daily, and actually I have two kinds here. The other thing that my dogs get daily is probiotics. Pro meaning yay, we're for them, and biotics meaning bacteria. My dogs are really healthy. They don't get ear infections, they don't get hot spots, they don't have any allergies, any health problems whatsoever, but I still give them probiotics every day. And the reason that I do that is because, and I mentioned this previously, good health starts in the gut. Inside of your dog's intestines are colonies of bacteria and yeast and just all little tiny microorganisms. And together they form these really, really organized colonies. And they're supposed to be there. They live symbiotically with your dog. And what they do is just absolutely amazing. This is brand new research, but they're finding that these bacteria that live in your dog's gut, they have the ability to produce his vitamins. So they have very, very important metabolic roles in your dog's body. They can talk directly to your dog's brain, which is crazy. And most importantly, they form the bulk of your dog's immune system. So I think overlooking probiotics is probably a bad idea. So, and that's one of the other reasons why I feed fruit, because if you're feeding things like, kefir or natural probiotics, then you're going to want the nice prebiotics in there as well, and just add some fruits and vegetables. I like to use the Adored Beast probiotics because, for two main reasons. First of all, it's a great company, and I can probably guarantee it's the only probiotic supplement out there that doesn't have fillers. And the most common filler that they use for probiotics, and they also use it as a prebiotic, is maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is a pretty potent sugar, and it has the ability to really, really spike your dog's insulin. And it's just not something that personally I'm interested in for my dog. So that's why I like to use the Adored Beast. This is the Love Bugs, and this is just a probiotic and a prebiotic blend. So what I also like about the Adored Beast probiotics is that the prebiotic in them is larch. Now, larch has been really extensively researched for its role in preventing and treating cancer. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting larch in my dog's meals every single day, just with an eye towards preventing cancer, because as you know, dogs get older, their risk for cancer goes up massively. Even when they're naturally reared, we live in a pretty polluted environment. So if I can take that small step to just reduce the risk of cancer in my dogs, of course I'm going to take it. So all of my dogs absolutely get probiotics every day. Now, Chili gets a little bit different probiotic. She'll get a probiotic with digestive enzymes in it as well. And the reason for that is she's an older dog, and as your dogs age, or if they're sick and they have, any kind of chronic inflammatory disease like allergies or irritable bowel disease, their ability to digest food is definitely going to be suppressed. So I like to give her a product that has digestive enzymes in it, and they just help her to get a lot more nutrition out of the food that she's eating. So what else do all of my dogs get daily? They get Phytosynergy. And before I go on to there, I just want to show you, sometimes as a form of probiotic, I'll also give my dogs, and again, you can make this yourself, but Dana doesn't have time to make things herself. So I give my dogs a fermented sauerkraut. So this one, they're both organic. This one's made with carrot, and this one's made with kale. And if you just heard barking there, it's because Chili hears me making her breakfast, and she's not too patient about it. So this is also a good source of probiotic for your dog. And I do that. I'll mix up food source with the Adored Beast. Sometimes I'll do both. Now, the second supplement that all of my dogs get pretty much every day is phytoplankton. And again, I use the Adored Beast phytoplankton because it's environmentally friendly. This is actually grown on land in sunshine, and what they do is they take water from the Atlantic Ocean and they filter it. They filter all the PCBs and the heavy metals and all the crud out of it. They grow the phytoplankton on land in that filtered seawater, and then they actually return that nice healthy seawater back to the Atlantic Ocean. So it's a good choice. If for any of you using Phytosynergy, I'm looking for my scoop. For any of you using Phytosynergy, it comes with a scoop, but I want to point this out to you. You only need to give your dog half of this scoop. So if you have a dog who's a picky eater, that's how much phytoplankton you have to give your dog. It's not very much at all, which is great and that's the benefit of giving your dog a supplement without fillers, because you don't have to give your dog as much of it. And if you have a dog who's a really picky eater and they can find even a grain of this stuff in their food, you've got a fighting chance of getting the supplements into them. So my dogs get Phytosynergy every day. Why is that? Phytosynergy is the food that literally fuels the entire ocean. Every animal that lives in the ocean relies on Phytosynergy. And what it does is the small little fish survive on phytoplankton, and it's a complete food. And here's something that you might not know. We all know that fish is high in omega-3 fats, and we want those omega-3 fats because they decrease inflammation in our dogs. And the problem is that most of the foods that we have in our planet today, unfortunately, are super high in the inflammatory omega-6 fats. So that's why we like to give fish and fish oil. The funny thing is, fish aren't born high in omega-3. The only reason they're high in omega-3 is because they eat phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is really high in omega-3 fats. So I like to cut out the middleman. Instead of giving my dog fish or fish oil, I'm just going to give them phytoplankton. And there's a lot of reasons to bypass fish oil. And, you know, I might have talked about this before, but fish oil, in case you don't know, is a processed food. It's heated and it's processed. The reason that it's heated is they kind of boil it so all of the heavy metals and things rise to the top so they can filter it out. It's not sustainable. It's not eco-friendly in any way, shape, or form. Fish oil is just kind of raping the planet as far as I'm concerned, and the same goes for krill oil as well. And then you also have to consider just how polluted our oceans are. It's just not a great idea. And also, if you feed your dog poultry, you never want to give them fish oil because they're both very high in polyunsaturated fats, and it's just not balanced for your dog. So if you want to feed an oil, then feed flax oil instead, or preferably just feed phytoplankton because that's going to replace your oils. With that said, I actually do use an oil on my dogs, and I'll use hemp oil. Hemp oil will do a really, really good job at balancing the fats and ruminants. Ruminants would be meats like beef, goat, and lamb. For my own dogs, I don't feed them poultry at all, really, and that's probably a topic for another video. But if you're feeding your dog red meats or ruminant meats, then hemp oil is really going to help to balance out the fats. Again, it's high in the omega-3 fats, but the reason that I like to give it is that it's rich in minerals, and especially manganese, and it's really hard for dogs to get enough manganese, especially if they're not eating fur and feathers. So I like to give that to my dogs every day. And really, those are the only supplements I give to my dogs every day. So they're going to get some form of fruit and vegetables. They get fermented foods probably several times a week. So maybe some organic kefir you could do kimchi. Just make sure it's low in salt. And you can even ferment your own fruits or vegetables as well. Totally up to you. And it's kind of a fun winter project. They all get probiotics of some sort, and they all get phytoplankton. I'm just going to show you some of the other things that are in my cupboards because it's just kind of fun. And Chili knows that I'm making her breakfast again, so she's just going to have to wait a little bit. Now, this is a turmeric and astaxanthin blend. Chili, who will be 14 in a little bit, Chili actually has she has a mammary cancer. She's had mast cell cancer for a number of years, and I've been able to keep that, just keep it at bay with supplements. And now we're dealing with a mammary cancer. So I'll show you some of the things that I use to really try to keep that cancer under control and get as many years out of Chili as I can. And the first, obviously, being the larch. Now, turmeric is very, very, very well researched for its anti-tumor properties. And astaxanthin is a very, very powerful antioxidant. Now, what happens in your dog's body as a consequence of just metabolism, just living every day and digesting his food, in addition to all the toxins that he comes across in his food and in his environment, what happens is oxidation is a process that starts to happen in the cells, and it builds up, let's call it waste products. Basically what it does is it creates unstable atoms. So antioxidants actually lend one of their own little electrons to those unstable atoms and decrease oxidation and the damaging effects that it can cause in the body. And in a nutshell, it slows the rate of aging and it slows down the rate of degeneration. So obviously for cancer, those are two things, for any dog really, these are two things that are really important to me. Antioxidants are a massive plus for your dog's diet. So for Chili, I like to slather on lots of this stuff for sure. And this is a nice organic product. Again, I'm always looking for products without fillers, and this is Astazan from BioStar. Another thing that Chili gets is she gets the Source CBD oil, and this is made from the hemp plant. Now, you might think, wait a minute, she gets hemp seed oil plus she gets hemp. The difference is the hemp seed oil is only from the hemp seed. And the reason I give this, again, is to get lots and lots of minerals into her and just to balance out the fats and give her lots of healthy omega-3 fats as well. The CBD is ground from the whole organic hemp plant and mixed in a coconut oil base. And again, it's great for pain. It's great for joint relief. If you have a dog who is just has anxiety issues or behavior issues and is just a little bit over the top, the CBD oil will help to settle them a little bit. And I'm most interested in not just the pain control benefits, but the anti-cancer, the anti-tumor benefits of the CBD oil. So I give that to Chili twice a day in her meals as well. The other two things that I'll rotate in for Chili are just as an aside, are UDR and kidney rejuvenator. Again, old dogs, this is funny thing about Chili. Chili does not walk anymore. Chili has not walked for 4 months. Chili hasn't walked for 4 months, but here's the thing. Chili's not ready to go yet. She's happy. I take her for little wagon rides with the rest of the dogs, and she's enjoying life. And as long as she's enjoying life, then I'll carry her around wherever she needs to go and help her go outside. And as long as she's here, she's happy. But the downside of her not getting around so much, and this happens with a lot of older dogs or dogs with joint pain, is they just have trouble squatting and they might not urinate as often as they should, and they tend to get recurrent uterine or UTI, urinary tract infections. When that happens, the UDR by Ambertech is just a herbal remedy that works actually really, really well for urinary tract infections. And I just keep giving her the kidney rejuvenator because not only does it help the UDR to work better, kidneys tend to get sluggish and tend to lose function in older dogs as well. So it's just a really good addition to Chili's diet. I would not give that to my healthy dogs. But for Chili, it's a really good thing to rotate in for her. The other thing that Chili gets is now my dogs are not spayed or neutered. It's not something that I believe in. I also don't believe in unnecessary puppies, and I've never had an oops litter. I'm responsible, and I think part of being a responsible pet owner is being responsible for your dog's health. So my dogs are all intact, with the exception of Chili. Chili had a pyometra that we just couldn't get a handle on a couple of years ago, and so she had a spay done to decrease the infection. So this is actually this is a homeopathic spay remedy by the Adored Beast. And what it is, it's just homeopathic ovaries. And by homeopathic principles, what happens is that stimulates Chili's body to think that she still has her ovaries and to stimulate just a little bit better body function, just like she had those hormones, because those hormones that kind of get messed up when you spay or neuter, they have a lot more to do for your dog than just reproduction. When you, again, this is probably another video, but just really, really quickly, when you spay neuter, if you have a female dog, spay increases her risk of urinary tract infections and urinary incontinence. Spay neuter for both females and males increases their risk of hip and elbow dysplasia, of cruciate tears. It increases the risk of mast cell cancer, hemangiosarcoma, lymphoma, and osteosarcoma, which is one of the deadliest and most common forms of cancer we know of. So that's the reason why I leave my dogs intact, because those hormones and those organs are really important for my dogs. And I want my dogs to be healthy and to live for a really long time. So that's why I make that personal decision. So Chili gets this just once a month. I don't know if I have anything else, Julio. I do. I have coconut oil. So I'll give my dogs coconut oil or coconut chips. And I love the cocoa therapy people. They're great people. And it's a great, super high quality product. So that's what my dogs get. Coconut oil is really, really high in the medium chain fatty acids, which are just anti-everything. I said earlier that antioxidants are important. It's high in antioxidants. It's got antibacterial properties, antifungal properties, and it just helps to balance out the fats a little bit and get those nice medium chain fatty acids in the diet. And I'll give the coconut oil probably 2-3 times a week. That's just what I do personally. And Julio, I think that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, so I think Chili's meal is pretty much ready to go. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. I don't go crazy on supplements. I really don't. And here's the thing. If you're looking at this and you're going, I can't afford all of that because I'm not Dana and I don't get everything at wholesale. And it's a valid concern because supplements can get pricey. So the one thing that you can do for your dog is to just pulse them. And pulsing means just rotating them. So what you could do is get a jar of love bugs and just give your dog love bugs until the jar is gone. And then you could follow up with phytosynergy, give the phytosynergy till the jar is gone, and then do the hemp oil. And then just keep rotating through. If your dog doesn't have any health concerns, that's a really, really valid way to get a lot more nutrition into your dog without breaking the bank. So Chili's out there barking because she's ready for her breakfast, so I should probably get that out to her. But thanks for coming out. I hope that was helpful, and I'll be talking to you soon.